Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, also known as an author of confusion in these times that we're living. Once in a while, she makes a little sense, though. Give Jackie jacket, but not in this case as well. Has criticized Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessa's handling of questions surrounding reported U.S. military strikes in the region, saying her responses show confusion. No, madam, you are the author of confusion. Michaela Pandey. Denial and a lack of awareness about an international incident unfolding close to Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement shared on social media this morning, Pandey said the situation has moved beyond politics and now raises concerns about whether the Prime Minister is misleading the public or is simply out of her depth. My response: how can so many Trinis be so detached from reality and ignorant when it pertains to national security issues, people? You know, they were not ignorant about it when Emperor Thanos Rowley was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, but all of a sudden, they don't understand what falls under the category of national security information. It therefore needs to remain classified. The Prime Minister cannot reveal classified information to the media and public, people. Otherwise, you know what will happen. Our enemies, rogue nations, very violent and dangerous leaders like Maduro will become aware of our security strategies and whatsoever. So the Prime Minister cannot reveal classified information to the media and public. None of these hypocrites would have dared. None of these hypocrites would have dared to demand this type of information from Emperor Thanos Rowley. But they still believe that they can bully Kamala into submission. You really have to wonder if members of the mainstream media and the 1% PNM minions are agents of the Maduro regime. They're trying to bully our Prime Minister into revealing sensitive information about the sorts of agreements we have with the United States of America for our own protection, for our own security. And they want us to reveal that to the public so that Maduro could be able to become aware as well. That is treason, people. We are witnessing treason taking place on a daily basis, and it's being portrayed as seeking the truth or seeking transparency and accountability. Where was all that? Where was Kakash and the rest of the PNM3 crew when Emperor Thanos Rowley only had multiple non-disclosure agreements? No one was trying to bully him into revealing that sensitive information in him. And a lot of that information most likely should have been reported because it was not about national security. It was basically about different types of agreements that was made during the C-19 era and certain business deals or whatsoever. And it was that there were non-disclosure agreements with these various countries. But now that we have there's a valid reason for a non-disclosure agreement with the United States of America for our own national security, to protect our borders, protect our citizens. Mainstream media wants our Prime Minister to reveal that information to the public so that our enemies in foreign countries can become aware of it as well. People, that is treason. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. As the search for kidnapped couple Derek and Claribel Tardieu continued yesterday. Opposition MP Marvin Gonzalez, Marvelous Marva, called on Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to explain what she meant by fishy. We know about that term from since we growing up small. We know there was something fishy about our situation, but in other words, it's suspicious. It's strange. I said it in my video even before I heard the statement made by the Prime Minister, saying the comment was insensitive. No, Marvelous Marva. She had a valid reason for asking that, and it was the same reason I made my statement in my video probably earlier on that same day. My response, so says the macaroni pie and ham man Gonzalez, the same man that told us that we have to cut back on macaroni pie and ham because things were hard and the government couldn't afford to give people what? Increase in salaries and so forth. Everybody has forgotten about that all of a sudden, you know, because remember, Kamala in office now. Can Kakash and crew tell us when was the last time kidnappers demanded US dollars? This is what I said was strange about it even in my video when I reported about the case. I want the people to be released without any harm or anything like that in Jesus' name. I hope and pray that they will be released very soon. I really do. But it's still strange how the kidnappers asked for US dollars. I've never heard that. Probably it happened in the past, but I personally, and many people have never really heard of any sort of demand by kidnappers here in Trinidad and Tobago for US dollars to be provided as a ransom. That is strange. In other words, it is fishy, people. Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full-color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls. 9D panoramic sound. Long battery life and fast charging. Control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. Police are investigating the theft of cash and a manager's check totaling $125,000. That's a lot of money, people. From a vehicle parked at Maritime Center, Barataria on Tuesday. Around 3:25 p.m., a 36-year-old Maraval helicopter pilot reported to the Barataria police station that he had earlier withdrawn $40,000 in cash and a manager's check for $85,000 from First Citizens Bank, Maraval. He said he placed both in a brown envelope inside the glove compartment of his Toyota Land Cruiser. The victim said he parked on the ground floor western side of Maritime Plaza around 12:15 p.m. Locked the vehicle and went to Maritime Insurance. When he returned at 2 p.m., he found the front left window smashed, glass scattered and inside the vehicle and on the ground, and the glove compartment open. A dash cam as well, because of course they wouldn't want the evidence. I don't know if the dash cam was on or whatever. So a dash cam valued at $250 and the envelope containing the cash and check were missing, as people rightfully said in the comment section. This seems as though it's very possible some employee of that bank conspired with their patriotic allies to commit this robbery. Why does this continue to take place on such a regular basis? An investigation needs to be launched into these banks and the workers in those banks, because how it is these individuals knew to target that particular vehicle. How it is these individuals knew that this individual withdrew such a significant amount of cash. Or putting that aside, people have to become a little more careful of what they are doing. Why, in the times that we are living in, why would you leave that large sum of cash in your vehicle to go anywhere? No matter where, no matter how close in proximity the place you might be going is located, you should not leave that amount of cash in your vehicle. As a matter of fact, when you're walking around with that amount of cash in these times, you should probably ask relatives to come along with you. Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days. The U.S. Embassy has posted that effective immediately, all individuals applying for an H-1B or H-4 non-immigrant visa are requested to adjust the privacy settings on all of their social media accounts to public to facilitate vetting necessary to establish their identity and accessibility to the United States under the U.S. law. People in the comment section said that this is basically for individuals that are seeking like temporary employment or whatsoever in the U.S. My response, though, was basically in general, I say I hope the U.S. Embassy takes note of all the propaganda being spewed by members of the PNM through the media and the Syrian 1% house servant tribal political parties, especially the PNM. Anyone who considers America to be a colonial power whose leaders are so seeking to steal other nations' oil, that's always the narrative, should be prohibited from visiting the United States of America. You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. News from Jamaica now. Miss Universe Jamaica Gabrielle Henry is in a serious condition following a fall through a stage opening during the competition in Thailand. Why the hell they had an opening, a hole or whatever? The Miss Universe organization confirmed she sustained an intracranial hemorrhage and fractures on November 19. Cranial, that is your cranium, so that had to be the head, so that had to mean some kind of significant damage to her skull. Lord have mercy. Contrary to early reports of minor injuries, Henry requires a medical escort to return to Jamaica for continued treatment. The organization stated they are monitoring her recovery closely and facilitating her transfer. The Miss Universe organization has accepted full responsibility for medical costs, clarifying the incident was not Henry's fault. A lot of us, including myself, thought it was she just misstepped or whatever. Support remains in place for her and her family during this difficult time. I truly hope and pray that two things: justice is served, that this woman is compensated for what occurred there, and that she recovers fully in Jesus' name. News from Guyana now. Principal Magistrate Judy Lachman on Wednesday rejected a constitutional challenge filed by Nazar Mohammed and his son Azuddin Mohammed, meaning their extradition matter will proceed without referral to the High Court. As certain individuals said yesterday, they were just basically trying to play for time, delay the process. The father and son team, represented by a team of attorneys, had argued that amendments to the Fugitive Offenders Act conflicted with key constitutional protections, including rights to fair legal access, life, and personal liberty. Thankfully, the judge said, you know what, you're talking utter nonsense. Let due process take place. And that's what they were asking for, due process. Well, this is actual due process. Although, of course, the PNM's family in Guyana, the PNC, and this new WIN break off of that political party. Now, I don't know if it's official, if it actually broke off, but they sound basically the same. They were trying basically to find all type of loopholes in order to ensure that this Azuddin Mohammed individual could have probably served out his entire 5 years in office. International news now. President Donald Trump said Colombia's president could be targeted in the same way as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, amid a growing rift between the two leaders over the export of illegal drugs to the United States and its military presence in the region. So let's see if the tribal Trinis and the rest of people in the Caribbean will say, oh, Trump going after this president as well, Because of what? Oil? Anyhow, so everywhere Trump just wants people oil. Trump was speaking with reporters in the Oval Office when he was asked about Colombian President Gustavo Petro, who has been a vocal critic of the U.S. military strikes on suspected drug smuggling vessels in the Caribbean. Trump was asked whether he had spoken with Petro, whom he has called an illegal drug dealer. But everyone knows that Colombia is notorious for drugs, for narcotics, for cocaine and everything else. And the false god weed, as he previously did with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. So let's wait and see how that turns out. I definitely am also waiting to see what people will say pertaining to this issue, especially the tribal Trinis. The U.S. has reportedly seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Speaking at a presidential roundtable this afternoon, U.S. President Donald Trump said, "We've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela. A large tanker, very large. The largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening. So you will be seeing that later, and you will be talking about that later with some other people." We know that that's how Trump talks. My response, tribal Trinis now have a new reason to hate Donald Trump while they worship their communist leader, Maduro. I am quite sure, people, the media isn't reporting the actual reason for the oil tanker being seized. And from what a friend of mine said online, I believe that it was seized because Iran is a sanctioned country right now. And I think Venezuela was trying to export or smuggle fuel into that country, and that is why it was seized. Closing off now with the interesting facts segment. Scientists in Germany, led by a research team at the Technical University of Munich, have produced the world's first comprehensive digital representation of the planet's built environment. The new resource, named the Global Building Atlas, contains a data set of 2.75 billion buildings worldwide. I wonder if they have our buildings in Trinidad and in San Grande Bay. The map boasts an unprecedented high resolution, making it approximately 30 times finer than previous global building products. Crucially, the data set includes buildings from regions that were historically unrepresented in digital maps, such as Africa, South America, and rural areas. So maybe it might have video footage of our buildings here in Trinidad and Tobago as well. This sounds interesting, but it also reminds me of the times that we are living in, whereby you wouldn't really have any sort of privacy during the the rule of the Antichrist, and that is why they will be able to locate people so easily. Spy. We are living in the end times, people, and we are living very close to the rise of the Antichrist. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.